Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down one of the most critical steps in any VA disability claim, the compensation and pension exam.
And let's be real, this one appointment, it can literally make or break your entire claim. So understanding what it is, and more importantly, how to approach it, is absolutely crucial for your success.
So what is it, really? Well, at its core, the C&P exam is the VA's way of fulfilling its duty to assist. Basically, if you don't already have a recent medical opinion in your file that details your condition, the VA is supposed to step in and get one for you. And this exam, well, this is that opinion.
Okay, so if this is supposed to help, why do so many veterans have just awful experiences with these exams? The issues often start way before you even set foot in that doctor's office.
I mean, that's a pretty stark assessment, and it comes from legal experts who see thousands of these cases. So here's why the quality of your exam can be so completely unpredictable.
So here's what's really going on behind the scenes. The VA contracts these exams out. That company then hires local doctors for a pretty modest fee, which, creates an incentive for speed, not thoroughness. You pair that with a claims file that can be thousands of pages long and a total mess, and what do you get? You get examiners who miss critical information, leading straight to flawed reports. All right, so we get it. The system has its flaws. So let's focus on what you can actually control. Look, you can't change the examiner or the system, but you can absolutely control how you prepare, and that preparation can make all the difference in the world.
Before you go, making these simple lists is like your insurance policy. When you're in that room, it's so easy to get flustered and forget crucial details. Having this stuff written down makes sure you can clearly communicate the full scope of your condition, especially what it's like on your absolute worst days.
And here's a huge one. Do not assume the examiner has seen your latest records. Bring the most important documents with you, that recent MRI or the specific page from your service record detailing the injury. And don't just have it with you, physically hand it to them. This simple act can totally bypass the problem of your key evidence getting lost in some massive disorganized file.
Okay, this next part, this is arguably the most important piece of advice for any veteran heading into a C&P exam. We're talking about a fundamental shift in your mindset.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It shows the core conflict, right? The tough, power through the pain, never complain attitude that helped you succeed in the military is the exact opposite of what you need to do in a C&P exam.
I know, that sounds extreme, but the point is so powerful. The examiner only knows what you tell them. They weren't there on your worst day. They don't see the daily struggle. You have to be willing to communicate the full, unvarnished truth about your pain and limitations without minimizing them one bit.
So here's the bottom line. If the examiner asks how you're doing and you just say, "I'm fine," well, guess what goes in the report? Patient is fine. You have to talk about the flare-ups. You need to explain how often they happen, how intense they get, and the real-world impact they have. That's the only way the final report is actually going to reflect your true level of disability.
Okay, so now you're prepared, you've got your documents, you've got the right mindset, but let's cover the administrative and communication traps that can stop an otherwise solid claim dead in its tracks.
Life happens. Sometimes you just can't make the scheduled time. But how you handle this is absolutely critical to the survival of your claim.
You have to create a record. Call the VA, get the full name of the person you speak to, and then, and this is the key, follow up in writing. This is what lawyers call the belt and suspenders approach. It makes sure there's an undeniable paper trail that protects you and your claim, no questions asked.
And I really can't overstate this. A simple missed appointment, if you handle it the wrong way, can lead to an automatic denial. It doesn't matter how strong your evidence is, the VA can and absolutely will deny your claim on this basis alone.
So what happens when you get that report back and it just feels wrong? It's inaccurate, it's incomplete, or maybe it's just plain unfair. What can you do then?
You can and you should complain to the VA in writing just to get it on the record. But honestly, the most powerful tool you have is a counter-argument. A detailed report from your own doctor, a specialist who actually understands your history. That can be incredibly persuasive, especially if your claim has to go to the appeals level.
Now, this whole process is particularly difficult when it comes to mental health claims. The invisible wounds are often the absolute hardest to talk about, and the exam process itself can feel like a massive hurdle.
And these fears are so valid and so common. The tragic irony of the system is that a veteran's hesitation to talk about a devastating event because it's re-traumatizing can be misinterpreted by an examiner as the event being insignificant. This is where the system can truly, deeply fail veterans.
So, when you boil it all down, the takeaway is this. Succeeding in the CMP process is less about the medical facts alone and more about your ability to effectively communicate those facts within this very specific and, yeah, often flawed system.
Just thinking about that question, that's the first step toward taking control of your CNP exam and ultimately getting the benefits you've earned. Thanks for tuning in.
A special thank you to MarketUS.com for furnishing us this information. You can reach them at MarketUS.com or call them at 954-636-3232. Before we go, this deep dive was created by the MarketUS.com team. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It's right below the subscribe link. Thanks for watching. I'm Nancy, your AI avatar. If you like this podcast, you can get one for yourself based on a website, YouTube video, or any source. Contact me to get a customized quote for your content. See you soon.